All right. So here's a quick review of the 7 pillars of what we call plant-strong eating. Pillar number 1 of our program is eat plants. And what we mean by that is this. From plants, we get friendly proteins, unprocessed carbohydrates, essential fatty acids, and almost every vitamin and mineral that we need. More importantly, we get loads of phytonutrients and antioxidants and fiber and water when we eat plants. So by sticking to vegetables and fruit, we avoid saturated fats, trans fats, growth hormones, antibiotics, concentrated pollutants, and materials with lots of inflammatory properties. And so if you saw Dr. Esselstyn's talk last time, you know that the big enemy of health is inflammation in the body. And so we're very interested in reducing inflammation, and that's what plants do. All these amazing phytonutrients in plants help to reduce inflammation. And what, of course, inflames our system are animal products. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. We especially love leafy greens. If there's one type of vegetable that you could get into your system, people always say, well, what should I eat? What's the most important stuff to eat? Leafy greens are incredible. The darker, the better. So often things like kale and collard greens and beet greens are so good for you. They're just packed with so much antioxidants and vitamins and minerals and calcium and all these things that we want to get in our bodies. And they're also have been proven to actually help reduce inflammation through this whole process of building up more nitric oxide in your system. And so if you listen to Dr. Esselstyn, you know what that's about. I actually have a link to Dr. Esselstyn's talk, and I'll share that with Mary. And if she wants to send it out to people, if they want to watch a recording of his talk, then for those of you who didn't see it, I'll be sure to do that. All right, pillar number 2 of our program is to eat whole foods. So we want to eat foods that are in most cases as close to their natural state as possible. And that means fresh or frozen. Don't worry about frozen vegetables. In fact, a lot of times frozen vegetables are higher in nutritional content because they've been flash frozen at the point of being harvested. So we love frozen, that's fine. When looking at breads and pastas, make sure you see one of the 4 key terms in the ingredients, which are words like rolled, whole, cracked, or stone ground. We want our wheat to be whole. This means they're 100% whole. As well, we want you to embrace whole grains such as brown rice and millet and quinoa and barley and polenta, among many, many other whole grains. These whole grains are not going to mess up your blood sugar. You know, people often say, steer clear of these things if you're a diabetic. We totally disagree with that. Whole grains are the way to go. We also want you to avoid processed foods that have been stripped of all their nutrients. So things like white rice and white pastas and those types of things that have been stripped of all their good fiber. What we're really interested in, most American adults are deficient in fiber. And so whenever people talk to us, they often ask us about where we get our protein. And I'll talk about that in a moment. But what they really should be asking is, where do you get your fiber? That's a much more important question for today's modern adult. All right, pillar number 3 of our program is we want people to try to avoid calorie-dense foods. We want people to choose foods that are low on the calorie density scale. That means you can eat as many of them as possible, many of them as you want, and fill yourself up and not gain weight because you're not picking up a lot of extra calories. And so we want you to focus on plant foods like fruits and veggies and whole grains and legumes. All of these foods are loaded with fiber and water, which will fill you up. And they have plenty of and loads of healthy nutrients. And this graph will kind of help you understand calorie density. The reason that one of the reasons we're plant-based, it's not because we're also, we're getting lots more of the vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients and things that we want in our bodies. But we also, when you eat low on the calorie density scale, you tend not to gain weight. You actually will lose weight. And so this is really important because a lot of the people that we work with in the programs that we do are people that have issues with obesity. And so as you can see, this is calories per pound. So, 100 calories, you're going to pick up, if you eat a pound of vegetables, you're going to pick up 100 calories. If you eat a pound of fruit, you're going to pick up about 300 calories. You can see by eating low on that calorie density scale, you're going to be able to eat as much as you want, get full, get filled, get satiated, and not pick up a lot of calories. And then if you look at the other end of the scale, look at things like oil. where you're talking about 120 calories per tablespoon of oil. You can see why when you eat high on the calorie density scale, this is why you pick up weight. All right, pillar number 4 is this concept of the protein myth. The people ask us over and over again, can you get enough protein on a plant-based diet? And of course, the answer to this is absolutely. Many adults eat about 100 grams of protein per day in this country, and that's about twice the recommended amount. On a plant-based diet, people can easily get 60 to 80 grams of protein throughout the day from foods like beans and legumes and nuts and broccoli and whole grains. Everything has protein in it. And so you're going to get enough protein if you eat a diverse plant-based diet, no problem. And guess what? Diets that are high in protein, meaning excessive proteins, are linked to disease states. And so it's a total myth that you can't get enough protein on a plant-based diet. Not an issue. Pillar number 5, eating versus drinking your calories. Another pillar of our programs, we really want people to stick to drinking water. Coffee and tea are okay too. Why? This is another issue of calorie density. Many adults in our country, because we have a lot of people dealing with weight issues, many adults in our country take in between 400 and 700 calories on an average day from liquid sources. That could be roughly 30 to 40% of their daily caloric needs. Here we're talking about heavily sweetened tea and wine and beer and mixed drinks and milk and fruit juices and soda, flavored waters, coffee with cream and sugar, energy drinks, and smoothies especially are sometimes incredible calorie bombs. So we really want people to drink water, coffee, and tea. And Dr. Esselstyn is a fan of decaf coffee, but not caffeinated coffee, because caffeinated coffee has proven to damage endothelial function. So if you can, try to go decaf. Pillar number 6 of our program is we really have to watch out for what we call the big 3. Our bodies, as you all know, crave salt, sugar, and fat. We get dopamine hits when we eat salt, sugar, and fat. Well, why is that? It's because we need all 3 of those to survive. Our brains are the same brains of humans that existed 10,000 years ago. And so our brains are wired to find these things in our environment because they're about survival. Salt is needed for internal mechanisms in the body. Sugar is concentrated calories, and that's exactly what fat is as well, concentrated calories. This is a survival instinct. So tragically, the food industry knows this too, which is why they continue to create highly processed foods that are overloaded with salt, sugar, and fat. Many adults consume between 30 and 50% of their daily calories from fat. We want to get that down to 10 or 15%. So we suggest people avoid foods with that are heavily sweetened, high in fat or high in salt. And we really have to read those labels. But as Ann Esselstyn will always remind us, you know, if you're eating whole food plant-based, means you're not eating a lot of things that are products that are manufactured, meaning you're taking natural things like whole grains and beans and veggies and fresh vegetables and cooking them. Like, that's what we mean by whole food plant-based. You want to steer clear of really anything or most things that are processed heavily. Pillar number 7, the last pillar, is to move your body. Let's think of exercise as icing on the cake. Any purposeful movement that you engage in will enhance all that you're doing with nutrition. Exercise speeds up your metabolism, enhances your mood, benefits your entire physical body. So whatever activity you choose to do, just do it. And that will, again, it's icing on the cake, and it will make you feel much better. It's so good for your mood, but it's also amazing for your body, of course. So there are our 7 pillars. When we get to the end of Jane and Ann's presentation, we can take some questions. If you have some questions about our 7 pillars, if you want to talk more about that, that's fine. Happy to take those questions, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the stars. Ann and Jane Esselstyn just recently released a brand new cookbook called Be a Plant-Based Woman Warrior. They are also the co-authors of the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook. They've been working in this plant-based field for a number of years. Ann I would call Ann and Dr. Esselstyn one of the founding families of the current plant-based movement. They've been doing this since the 80s, and back when there wasn't a Whole Foods, there wasn't the internet, and they were driving across town in Cleveland to go to strange health food stores on the west side to get things like nutritional yeast and stuff. And of course, now that type of stuff is everywhere. So for those of you who don't know, if you go on YouTube, they have over 150, is that it, Jane? 180 videos on YouTube that show you how to cook this way, because that's always the first question is, well, how do you cook this way? So there's plenty of resources online. If you need more, please reach out to us. But I'm going to turn it over to the stars, Ann and Jane Esselstyn. So I got to go ahead and switch the cameras here, and we are ready to go. All right, you guys, you are on.
They can see us?
Yep.
I'm Jane Esselstyn.
And I'm Ann Esselstyn.
And we are going to do the demo tonight to go along with this whole food plant-based theory that we've been talking about. We're going to bring it into practice. And we're going to start by doing, as we sort of advertise it here with the Esselstyn Foundation, oats, flats, bowls, meaning breakfast, oats, flats, lunch, like an open face sandwich, which you can heap high with vegetables, and bowls, a bowl that you can fill with all kinds of great stuff for dinner. And
the exciting thing is that we get to eat all the things we make today for dinner.
It's 5:15 here in Cleveland. It's by the dark, and it is gonna be dinner time when all this is over. But the key thing, besides oat flats and bowls, which is basically following the whole day schedule of the day, is that we want to push that this whole way of eating is about strategies, not necessarily recipes. Yes, we write cookbooks. I should be trying to push those, even though I shouldn't mention that on the
I hate following recipes.
I know. But my whole point is that understanding the strategy of this stuff. So when we're showing you here today, everyone's going to type in the chat box, what's the recipe? What's the recipe? Well, there's books out there, books of all kinds of stuff like this, but pay attention to the strategies, okay?
And I think if you understand the principles that Brian made, then you can sort of eat what you know is the right thing to make you strong and healthy.
And I'm going to start with something right now called banana bread oatmeal. And I'm sure you've all heard of steel cut oats. We want to eat oats that are not the macheted up quick oats with like strawberry flavor and sugar and salt and sweet and set in little packages that are like this big. We want to eat oats for breakfast.
Well, you either want to eat the oat groat, the whole oat. You either want to eat the
Okay, can you go ahead?
or
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Or the old fashioned, and anything
Right.
underneath that, like the quick cooking, it just goes to sugar. So stick with the ones that have more power to them.
So with my steel cut oats, and however much you want, I put in 3 times as much water as oatmeal. So I put in, as they call them in Scotland, pinhead oats or steel cut oats, the oat groat, as she mentioned, chopped up with a steel blade, chopped with a steel blade. And I put 3 times the water. So I have about 1.5 cups of water going in. So oats and water, that's so easy. Strategy is just the ratio, 3 to 1, whatever you like. This could serve 10 people or me, just 1 person, doesn't matter. And then here, this banana, you notice I'm just sort of squishing it in its own skin because I don't like to do a lot of dishes. People are always like, oh, it takes so long to prepare food. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It takes a long time to clean up the kitchen. So I like to have things not be so messy. So here is this banana all squished up, and I'm just going to drop her right inside. And we're on our way to banana bread oats. So banana bread has, yes, banana in it, but it also has some vanilla. So we're going to put a cap of vanilla. I don't care how big or small your cap is, put a cap of vanilla.
You know, Jane, if you chose, you could just stop right there at the banana and the oats.
No, I don't think, I don't think so.
But
it depends on how sweet the banana is. Add the vanilla.
It would still be delicious.
All right. I just finished up that vanilla. All right. So then they add a little sprinkle of cinnamon. And one time the lid fell off and it was a mountain of cinnamon. I couldn't believe it. It was actually pretty good. So I'm adding a little more cinnamon than I usually would have. And then I'm going to, this is flaxseed meal. And I know I'm going to forget to add it at the end. And so I'm going to add it now. Just if you're writing things down, that's the only reson I'm doing it.
You can really do it at the very end.
Do it at the end because that's when the
about a tablespoon or 2 a day.
I have no laundry. I even recycled the bottle. Woo! Gonna go cook this now. Done. Nothing to clean up.
Why flaxseed meal?
Flaxseed meal it gets a great question if someone asks that, if Brian just teed us up. Flaxseed meal is one of those things that's high in omega. Can you hear me? I'm turning around. Hold on 1 sec. Flaxseed meal is high in the kind of fatty acids you want. It's high in omega-3s, which are really fragile and really great for your belly and your body and inflammation, fighting inflammation. So next we're going to do more oats because we're assuming you guys know how to make oatmeal from, just taking oats like Quaker oats and cooking Quaker oats, which are rolled oats. They've been steamed and rolled, and then they are sent dry to you in your container.
But everybody thinks that you have to eat oats
Cooked like oatmeal.
And so I want to show you a way. It's my husband is passionate about. He doesn't cook anything, but he could live on his breakfast. And so he will take some rolled oats from the container and put them in his bowl. He's not going to do anything more to them except add things. So first thing I'm going to add is, again, I am going to add some I'm going to add about a tablespoon of chia seeds. Chia seeds are like the size of the head of a pin, and they, like flax, have wonderful omega-3. And I'm just going to add one of each. You could do either one or the other or both, depending on your mood. So now I am going to add as many berries. He likes as many berries as I will buy. You can do them frozen or fresh, because we're trying to do something visual for you. We're showing you the fresh, but I tell you, frozen blueberries in particular are spectacular. So I'm going to put in a lot of blueberries. The more color that you can eat, the stronger the color, the more powerful. So look at that power in blueberries.
You see
And
that,
then
Brian, the
raspberries.
sideways ones?
Yep.
Raspberries. And any more berries or things that you want to put on, grape halves are stunningly delicious.
Banana,
Kiwi, you could put in grapefruit, chunks of grapefruit or orange. I mean,
blackberries.
you can do anything. Blackberries,
elderberries, golden berries,
and then
gooseberries.
the next part is what is totally up to you to choose what you like. But this is the most important thing that I can say ever to anybody who is doing plant-based. You have to read the ingredients of anything you buy that isn't clearly a raspberry or a blueberry. So I am choosing, because it just happens to be something we like, I am choosing oat milk. But if I read, there is no oil added to oat milk. There is, if you are using rice milk, oil is added. If you're using cashew milk, oil is added. All of the, you have to read the ingredients. Soy milks are great, but read the ingredients, because sometimes there is sugar and oil added, and you just don't want to get.
Almond milk is good.
Almond milk is great. If you're starting out, the unsweetened almond milk, you can't beat.
Can't see.
So here we go in this brand new box of oat milk, and I'm going to put on, and I'm going to flood this. This is what I can't ever believe how much, but he floods his cereal, and this makes my husband so happy. And I can also tell you, and I don't know if it'll happen now because we're going to have a dinner, but usually as soon as I've made this, Brian picks it up and devours
We
it.
put it up here as a display, and somehow in the middle of
Somehow.
our presentation, it vanishes. Speaking of presentation, if you see the oatmeal behind me in flames, overflowing, bubbling over, let us know, because Brian's looking at the chat box, we're looking at the camera. If you see that smoke overflowing, let me know, because I always burn it consistently, but it's still delicious. It looks like it's doing okay. So the next thing we're going to do, between our oats, flats, and bowls, we're going to actually take a little bit of a step to the side, and we're going to show you some things about a salad. And because salads are part of so many of our lives, and if they're not part of your life, chop, chop, chop. Let's get it into your life. You're going to love having that in there. And I love it because I love the dressings we have so much. We're not using oil, but our salad dressings are awesome. And we have the feedback in one of our cookbooks is like, this cookbook's really informative, but you have too many dressing options. And we're like, oh, we're so sorry. Come on. People think, oh, there's no oil, there's no fat, there's no dairy, there's no eggs, there's no meat. What do you eat? We eat so much. So this is just organic spring mix up here. And here you can chop up any other thing you want to add to it. I'm going to add to it this wonderful Does anybody, and can they mention in the chat, can you type into the chat box to Brian, what you think this is, and I'm gonna chop up and add in here. Brian, I'm gonna give him a few seconds. It's got such a lovely chopping sound. I love it. So just chop it up. It's already has layers to itself, so it's already kind of been cut horizontally. I'm just going through it vertically.
Someone says endive.
No, it's not endive. It's a section of a larger thing.
This
This is
could be about the size of a small baby.
yeah, it can be pretty.
Someone said Napa.
Yes, it's been part of Napa cabbage, right? And I love it because you can eat it raw, you can eat it cooked. She's so adaptable.
What's so nice is that if you cut it, it's kind of, it looks quite fun to cut. But then you don't have to cut it again and again like you might an onion. You just use it.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I'm going right down to the nub because it's all good. It's all, and you really want to get all this yummy fiber into you. All right. So this is gonna go into our, you want to have greens. Remember Brian mentioned greens? We want to have greens in as many things as we can.
As
And
much variety. It's variety. And
speaking of variety,
look at this wonderful color. Look,
I'm gonna add
How good.
purple cabbage. I just have bowls of this chopped in my fridge because we add this to almost everything. Salads, burritos, bowls, blah, 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 everything we do. This is cucumber chopped. I didn't want to have you guys watch us chop all these vegetables that you know you've chopped before, but I love the Napa cabbage.
Wait, there's another one you forgot to add. Does anybody know what this is? Stunning.
It looks a little not so stunning right now.
It looks very plain,
What is it?
but when you cut it open, look, it is a watermelon radish and it is gorgeous. And so Jane.
And you never know what color they're gonna be on the inside. They have these stunning purples, reds, sort of pinks. Well, yeah, just cut it. People are always like, what is this? What am I eating? The other day, who was eating something that we made? I can't remember. But they were loving this bright watermelon radish option. And I'm just adding these fresh off the vine organic little cherry tomatoes. And the next thing we're gonna make is a dressing because I boasted about how yummy they are. If you want to, oh, this one's not so good. My mom likes them cut in half. I don't. So she's gonna have half these cut in half and the other half, please don't touch. Mixed partnership here. So I'm gonna, speaking of
I
mixing.
can't believe she's letting me cut half.
So what I'm gonna do is one of my favorite dressings, again, is sort of strategic. And it's called 3-2-1 hum. 3-2-1 meaning 3 tablespoons of fine balsamic vinegar, one that you find at companies like the Olive Tap, not their oils, but their vinegars. They're thick, they're sweet. Yes, they're more expensive, but this, you don't have to buy anything else. No oils, nothing when you use this stuff. Another company near you guys perhaps is called California Balsamic. I wonder where this is located. Do we know where it's located? California, I think, but they make a stunning number of flavors. This is called Sweet Heat. We also have Trader's Curry. We've got Italian Spice. We've got a ginger balsamic. You can get blackberry, blueberry, raspberry, lemon, chocolate, all kinds of stuff. But we're going to use just the regular basic flavor, which in this brand, Olive Tap, is called 4-leaf balsamic. So 3-2-1. 3-2-1 is my ratio. I'm going to double it because this is a big salad. I'm going to double it. If you have leftovers, hooray! Leftovers rock. So I'm going to do 6 tablespoons. Going to pour you over to yours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 was my ratio. 2 is the next one. So since we're doubling things, 2 is going to mean 4 tablespoons of mustard. So you have balsamic as the foundation, like that great sweet acidic taste, and then mustard, which gives it some body and some heat and some smoothness and flavor, of course. And so we're going to do 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sometimes on our YouTube channel, it's so funny. We have like the dregs of mustard, so we're making a recipe, and all of a sudden it makes just that crazy end of the bottle farting noise, and we whoops. But it's one of the bonuses. All right, and then one tablespoon of balsamic, or not, what this is called maple syrup. And sometimes our balsamic is so sweet, I don't need to use the whole thing. So I'm actually not gonna go 2 full tablespoons because I think it's gonna be sweetened up with all that balsamic. And this is, again, gotta be something that you like. So 3, 2, 1, see how this tastes. If you need a little more mustard, if you want more of that mustard flavor, you can use whatever mustard you want. Yellow ballpark mustard, or hot, what's that like barrel shaped mustard that you like, right?
I don't know.
It's like, it's sort of,
But, and you know, salad dressings are such a personal taste. Figure it out. Figure out one you like and then use it all the time. And one of the things I like to do is I use that little jar with a lid and I put a whole, I can shake it all up in that and I can store extra right off. And so it's very nice. And
I'm adding
convenient.
2 tablespoons of hummus, and we get a hummus that has no added oil. Sometimes it has tahini in it, and sometimes it doesn't. We, our dollars are votes, so our stores actually carry both types. And we see other people also buy the kind with no oil and no tahini. So sometimes we have to get the one with tahini, which, oh, for us, it tastes a lot better. Don't get it wrong. Okay, so now I have this 3, 2, 1 hum.
No oil. Can you speak to no oil for a moment? A lot of these folks are new to this whole thing.
Well, then you can actually, if you want to know more about oil, you can watch my father's presentation. He goes into the whole rationale behind it. Oil is just damaging to your arterial lining, end of story. It blocks off your receptors and on your muscle cells so that insulin cannot drop off sugar. Your blood sugar gets high because of a higher fat content in your blood, not higher sugar content. Sugar goes exactly where to go in your blood. It's the lipids, it's the intramyocellular lipids that get in the way. And the caloric density of there's nothing on the planet, not a thing that has more calories than lipids, oil, fat, grease, nothing, not one thing. You cannot find another product, anything. Perfect. 3, 2, 1, hum, hummus. Yummy, 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 yummy. Okay, so huge salad, lots of dressing, took no time. And the next thing we're gonna go to, back on our list of oats, flats, and bowls, is making a flat, an open face sandwich. So Mommy, take it away.
I need a
Tovolo.
Ovolo.
Spread.
That's what I need. This is the only tool I use in the kitchen. I stir, I spread, I even can cut with it. So I want to show you an idea, and you can pile anything in the world on. Basically, find a bread that has no added oil, that is whole grain. And it has to have that word whole in front of wheat. This happens to be, it's called Nestamacher, and they make it in a few different flavors. This is a whole rye bread. I personally don't love rye bread. And this, if I were to take a piece out of here, it's kind of, it falls apart a little bit. So I like to triple toast this bread so it gets almost like a cracker. I know it's crazy, but it's so good. Try it.
It's about 8 minutes in the toaster to get it. It's like a shingle for the roof.
So and then I am going to put some hummus, lots of hummus. Spread this hummus without oil onto here, nice and thick. And then I am going to start loading this up with deliciousness. And maybe the first thing I'm going to put on are some green onions. Just as many or as few as you want. And then I'm so happy. This happens to be the last little, well, that I just got from our garden. This is a parsley. And I often use cilantro, but you know, the more greens, the more variety, the better. And then as Jane said, what's going to go next? Some red cabbage. Look, just to sprinkle in a little, cut it up, sprinkle it on. Oh, amazing. Now, if you have heart disease, you want to avoid things like avocado, nuts, just because they're high in fat and you do so much better. But if you don't have heart disease, there is nothing as delicious as a little avocado. And so I am going to put a few slices of avocado, which I'm removing with my tovolo, right in here.
Oh, talented one.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
And Next, I need to cut this up a little bit. See, it can cut too.
We should be sponsored by Tovolo. Esselstyn Foundation should be sponsored by Tovolo for sure.
So this is
Can
kind
we review what you have in there so far? You've got hummus, scallions,
parsley,
parsley.
or cilantro, red cabbage. And
Check your oatmeal, Jane.
now I am going to put on sprouts. These are broccoli sprouts. And I'm going to put on my broccoli sprouts nice and thick because I grow these. It's so much fun to grow them. If you don't grow them, start. You just have to get a jar and just put those broccoli sprout seeds in there, or whatever seeds you choose. And you have to rinse them once a day. It's easy. And they just grow furiously. Now, I love a little lemon. And so I have got to put a lemon in this lemon press and just put a little lemon on right now. Just this just gives it a little pep. And then, because basically I am making a cucumber sandwich, I am now going to put on my cucumbers. And because I have this nice mestamacher bread, I can put 6 cucumbers on here. And what's kind of fun about this is when I decide to cut it up, I can cut it in thirds. So it makes it like a fun, it's an easy way to eat it, but it's also a kind of fun way for an hors d'oeuvre almost. You could do it even in
And this thing is
Sick.
so tasty.
now I'm putting on some more lemon, and then not done. A little lemon pepper. This has got no salt. And
You have
this,
zest on there too?
I don't, but I could, but I didn't. You could put the lemon zest. There's nothing as good as lemon zest because
It's just sunshine. It's so
No.
yummy.
it's all the power in the lemon right there on the skin. And the peel. All right, shall I wait?
You go ahead, you go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead because this. I get my lemon pepper from 2 places. This happens to be the Frontier, but also Mrs. Dash makes it good. And if you can't find this in your grocery, you can always order it online. So this is such a good, Brian, you had this for lunch.
I
Did you
did.
like?
It's amazing. So good.
It's so, it's so fresh in the middle of winter to
Yeah.
have it. And but it's just so good.
Wait, I want to review
Anytime.
the layers of taste because this is the power of making this kind of strategic approach to eating work. Because you're not putting in butter, which is just a fat taste, ham, which is just a salt taste, cheese, which is a fat taste, and then honey mustard, which is a sweet taste. You're not playing ADD with your mouth. Trying to get its attention. What you have here is this crispy bread. You have crunch, which gets your attention. Your mouth loves it. Hummus, which is a wonderful, smooth feeling. It's got a good, just a filling taste, tongue satisfying. And then after that, yeah, you've got the scallions and the parsley, which is flavor. And the oniony flavor it's a wonderful taste enhancer. And then you've got your purple cabbage, arugula. What do you have there? What was the next thing? What was the green is that?
You know, I usually would put arugula. I forgot,
What?
but that's
what's
okay.
that? What's that green?
Parsley.
Oh,
No, that's a little bit of avocado.
oh. And she put avocado and sprouts and lemon juice, lemon zest, cucumber tops, lemon pepper. This thing is like bursting with flavor. So when people challenge us, like, well, if you don't eat, oil and salt, what do you eat? Food, really good food, packed with flavor and color and shazam, baby. All right.
And it could be anything.
Oh,
It doesn't have to be what I did. You can be what you got. What's fun is to find
Be
pile it up what's in
strategic,
your
be
refrigerator.
strategic. Like these things, this would be great on a sandwich. Look at that thing. It's
Oh,
shockingly.
yes, I love doing that.
Ryan, just look at that. Can you see that? Put down there. It tastes like it's spicy like a radish. It's like a little, it's related to what's that called? The hot green thing of wasabi. Jeez. Okay, so now we've already done our oats with our raw or not cooked oatmeal. And then we're cooking our oatmeal. We've done our salad and salad dressing. We've done our open face sandwich, a flat, as we call them, and we're about to do bowls. And the bowls we want to do for you are things that we know that we always have for dinner and that are kind of can be commonplace or familiar with most households. So the first thing we're going to do is a bowl. Everything has to have a heap of greens. And this is going to have, we have mixed here. This is black rice and brown rice. I only have a little bit of black rice I had, not enough to make a whole dinner of black rice. I had maybe like a quarter cup, half cup. I put it in with the brown rice and it brought all of its color out. And that's just more phytochemicals, more nutrition for us. It's called forbidden rice because it was only given to the emperor in the Forbidden City for his health. So that's some powerful stuff. So we're going to do a sort of a Asian profile bowl here, and then my mom's gonna do a sweet potato bowl, and then we're gonna do a sort of a more Mexican profile bowl, flavor profile bowl. So what I have here, can we leave that on? Oh, okay, yeah, it looks right. I have it. Let's keep it on low. Because why do I want to keep it on low? Because I'm gonna have it for
Dinner, Jane, we all feast on other things Jane eats for dinner.
love my oatmeal. So of course, there's greens in the bottom of all the bowls we're about to do. And then we have the cooked complex carbohydrate. We've got black rice, brown rice, a sweet potato, and we're gonna have brown rice again with the Mexican profile bowl. I could have used sort of brown rice noodles or another complex carbohydrate, but we're going with this right now. And to go on top of this, we're gonna do teriyaki tofu or teriyaki tempeh. And I'm talking about both because I'm sure many of you have heard of tofu. Tofu looks like this. It's just a block. Most often
Tasteless.
and it just adopts anything you put on it, and it's like, oh, we're gonna be mustardy today, okay, oh, we're gonna be salty, oh, we're gonna be
Sweet.
gingery and sweet, like it'll just adopt whatever's around it. It's a very insecure or secure friend, whatever you want to categorize that as. But tempeh is, if you don't know what tempeh is, it comes in more of this sort of cake like this, and when you open this plastic, which takes a minute or two to get off, you can chop it into cubes just like this. So I have 2 cakes of tempeh because we love having this after these demos. And we're going to make a teriyaki to go on this, and then we're going to cook it in the stovetop. Tofu, which I just showed you, I prefer to make a teriyaki for tofu and then bake it in the oven. I'm going to show you my example. This is our baked tofu. So if you want to bake it, again, this is your strategy, what works best for you. Can you get a good shot of that, Brian? Ooh. See that? Ooh,
I'll tell her if it's good. Very good.
and teriyaki sauce is so easy to make. We're going to make the sauce right now. I did this before this, obviously, to be sort of today's show about this. And it's delicious. And so we're going to have 2 options, tempeh or tofu tonight.
So someone's asking, what is exactly tempeh?
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to say that. So what it is, it's edamame or soybeans that you can see, can you go close on this, Brian? You can see the shape of the soybeans here. Tempeh is sort of this fermentation process, so it's kind of good for you the way that kimchi is good for you, the way that other fermented foods are good for you. What's that drink? Kombucha. Am I saying it right?
Yep.
Kombucha.
You know, one of the things people talk about is everything is so processed today. And the least processed in the whole soy world, soybeans. And then next to the soybeans is tempeh,
Yeah,
because you
It's
kind
just
of,
fermented bean curd.
fermented soybean curd. Okay, so now for the teriyaki sauce, it's just 5 ingredients. We use tamari, which is soy sauce, but tamari soy sauce just has a little less sodium and a little actually is gluten-free too. But this is the one we use. So when we say tamari, we don't really mean you have to use tamari. It's a soy sauce, and we like to have ours with less.
Someone's asking, do you boil the tempeh for a few minutes prior to marinating? No.
Cut it up.
Nope.
Go ahead and boil it. If it's something you do and you like to do. I'm not going to
so
stop you.
easy what we do with tempeh.
And I'm using half as much maple syrup because teriyaki means, I always forget to look this up before I talk about it, but it means like cooked with luster. And what gives it the luster is that the the brown soy sauce and then the shiny maple syrup. They use sugar oftentimes in their true teriyaki sauce. Or they use mirin, which is sweetened. And then so there's that, and then you have a tomato paste or ketchup if you don't have tomato paste. Sometimes we have a tomato paste in like a toothpaste tube, and our toothpaste tube is out because we use it all the time. So what we're gonna add ketchup, and so we're gonna put about I put about half a cup of the teriyaki, and I put about a quarter cup of the maple syrup. And so I'm gonna put about each squeeze is about a tablespoon in my eye. So I'm gonna put about 3 tablespoons. The first one was a little bit small, so okay. And then add some ginger, about, as they say in Ireland, they say put about a thumb of ginger, about a thumb's worth, about a thumb's worth. This is minced up thumb's worth of ginger. And you know, if you have ginger,
Just chop it and make
up.
sure when you chop ginger, use the skin. Just
Says Ann, and not many other people encourage you to do that. Can you stir that up, please? They're all mixed in. And then some sesame seeds. The sesame seeds brown nicely. Just put as many as you have or you want. You know, don't flood it and overflow it.
might be good to just flood it. Now can I dump in the,
Okay, so now that it's all mixed in, we're just gonna get the tempeh cubes straight from the package. I didn't boil them. If you want to boil them, or you need to boil them, you can. We've never done that.
because we're just about to cook them.
And now we're gonna put them into we have a frying pan on medium-high heat on the stove. What's gonna happen is that these cubes are just gonna get warmed up, and they're gonna start to the soy sauce or the teriyaki sauce around it starts to bubble, and then all of a sudden it cooks right onto it, and then you need to take it off the stove because it'll start to burn, especially with all the maple syrup in there. Will start to caramelize, you know.
My favorite thing, this whole demo is I get to cook this, which also means I get to occasionally take a taste.
All right, so here, set this on a little bit. And here we're gonna pour this in. And in it goes, medium-high heat. And there's the teriyaki sauce. So Ann's to keep an eye on that. And what I'm gonna do is put the cubes on here. And if there's any extra sauce, sometimes, oh, I didn't have any extra sauce tonight. The bowl has a little extra in it. You can just drizzle a little extra. You can purposely reserve some of the sauce to drizzle on top if you want. But it's a delicious meal, which I can't wait to put the crowning jewel of that. Tempeh. I could put tofu on it now. No, I'll wait for the tempeh. All right. Next, Ann's sweet potato bowl, which is a winner.
So I have cooked this sweet potato and I did it in aluminum foil because you can just stick it for about 8 minutes or however long in the microwave if you choose, but there is nothing as amazing as cooking sweet potatoes wrapped up on a low heat, like 350 for about an hour and a half to even 2 hours. And you cook it until it's so, you look at this gives, it's done. So I have cut and look at all this juice. It's just crazy. It's making my mouth water just thinking about it. And then I am going to put this in a bed of greens. I would normally use probably arugula just because I love arugula, but here this is just a whole variety of greens. And I'm going to cut open my sweet potato. Now, I am doing this with the skin here in the bowl, because the more skin you eat, the more power. That's where all the power of everything is, in the skin.
The fiber, we say
skin.
Eat the hide.
Eat the skin. And on top of this, I could put anything, but I happen to have some green onions. So I'm going to put some green onions on top. And here are some black beans. So I'm just going to put some black beans on top, just as many as I want. Now you could do this by cooking the black beans from scratch. The easiest is just to open a can of black beans, no salt added, and rinse them under hot water. And then you've got this lovely hot meal if you choose. And then because this still needs a little color, I'm gonna put some chopped red peppers. Now I could put, I mean, you could do anything, again, anything, but there is another something that I'm gonna do that is so good. Can you get me a line?
Yeah.
This is a mango, and a mango has got two cheeks and a skinny seed right in the center. So I am going to cut this mango.
You use that one.
I'm gonna cut this mango with one cheek off. And I'm trusting that this is a good mango. Sometimes at this time of year, you're not so lucky, and if that's the case, you can always,
Oh, you got lucky.
you can always use frozen mango, but to me, there's nothing as good as a fresh mango. And then I am going to score this mango kind of like a tennis racket. And cut it in the other direction. Now, what you can do at this point is you can invert this. And this is a kind of, I think, sort of a fun possibility. I think you wanted to, you could serve this as a dessert with raspberries in between it, and even a little chocolate balsamic on top of it. I mean, why not? But instead, right now, I am gonna put this lovely mango on top of my sweet potato. And guess what? I'm gonna have to, where did my envelope go? I feel simply desolate without it. So this
And
helps
we have
me,
one in the wings too.
this helps me get all of this out so I don't lose anything on the skin.
Show the camera. Do you see that, Brad?
Well, this, you just need to have a little better cut. This happens to be kind of a.
Okay, while she's tearing her mango, can you see this, Brad? See her sizzling?
Oh,
Yummy. And I'm gonna put, oh, some tempeh on for dinner. And when I was making this, what it was obvious to me is I could feel that this is what we like to do. You got it?
Hold on. Give me a second.
What I like to do is drizzle a little bit of extra teriyaki onto the yummy rice and cooked tempeh or tofu or serving. Yeah, I can't wait for that. All right, now back to you.
me. And then as a last final delicious touch, get a lime. This is a lime. And just squeeze this lime all over here. And I tell you, it's such a good and easy and beautiful dish. And I did a bad job cutting my mango because I didn't go through it enough, but it still doesn't matter. It's great.
Okay, are we ready for the last bowl? Oh, we have 5 minutes left. Perfect timing. Sometimes we don't know how long things are gonna take. Brian, can you still see me in my working area?
Yeah, you got
I'm gonna come over a little. How's that? You see
Perfect.
that?
It's better.
We'd like to show off all the dishes we've made. Okay, so again, we have all of our greens in our bowl. Keep as many as you want. This, we're just trying to have people to see everything, so we don't put as many as we usually would like to. This next one is gonna be sort of a more Mexican profile bowl. So what we have,
Base of greens.
was that?
Base of greens.
They are, what we have is our base of greens. Yes, exactly. And you can do this however you'd like to. I'm gonna put this all in the bowl first so that you can then imagine how you want to do it. So this is rice, brown rice, of course. We have brown rice mixed with the black rice. And these are refried beans. And here is the can. You want to zero on this, Brian?
Read the ingredients.
No fat refried beans, because you don't want to have any added oil, because that oil can be lard or it can just be some sort of extra oil that you just don't need. Again, it's just extra calories. It makes you more insulin resistant, and it makes you more prone to packy buildup. So and this is, there's actually a company that's even cleaner that just had like refried, that has pinto beans. This has got some other stuff added in. Again, read the ingredients. I believe that's changed since last time I looked at it. Wasn't following my mom's rules. There's no oil added, but there's some other spices and there's some sugar in there. Okay, and this is the refried beans. I added a little bit of,
You can just smash up your beans too, if you want.
that's always smashing up pinto beans is what refried beans are. So I have added a little bit of cumin here and some garlic powder. And so we have this little mix of beans and black rice and brown rice, and then some black beans. And I'm just gonna put some salsa on there.
Cumin.
Oh, I know. And I'm gonna put some red pepper. This is kind of gonna be, what I want to do is show you that you can take, these are called corn tortillas. You probably have too many in California that you can count. But these cost, like 30 of these cost somewhere around $1, $1.50 in Cleveland. That's so many. And you can take them and eat them as, you can make a soft taco. You just take some of your greens, put them in there. You put a little bit of refried bean on the bottom so everything sticks, and you spread it around. I'm sure you guys know way more about making tacos than I do. And then you put some rice in there. And then you put some peppers or whatever you have in there, some scallions. And then, can you open this, Ann? That'd be hard. Oh, good job. And this is, I chose.
I'm strong because I'm plant-based.
This is pineapple salsa. I got this because it was A, on the shelf, and B, it had pineapple in it, because you can always get fresh salsa, especially in California. But when you have a vitamin C with your meal, helps mobilize iron in your blood and gets your, if you're especially people who are feeling anemic or are really anemic. So that's one option, soft taco, or you can do the tostado. I'm talking to Californians. I'm a little embarrassed to be doing so, but tostado means you take those same corn tortillas, put them in the toaster like her bread that you cook for 9 minutes or whatever, and or you can make chips. Just crack these into chip like this, and you can use them as chip, or a tostado is you just go, I think it's called a tostado. Isn't it called a tostado? I think so.
Someone's nodding.
Not okay.
Yes.
And you do the same thing. You put on all the same decorations. You put on the refried beans as in the layer, and then you add in everything that can stick to it. You add in your greens. I buried my greens under everything. Okay, I'm going to get my beans, my rice, more of my greens, red pepper, scallion, and again, we had corn. Oh, can I put some mango?
Oh, yeah, mango would make it.
Mango, and then some of the salsa. This tostado, yum. This is it's like a nacho supremo. So you can have this with a soft taco. You can have, oh yeah, thank you. You can have this as a tostada. You can have this as a soft taco. And then this is sort of keep building your own as you go, because you've got 28 to go.
But couldn't you just have that as a dish yourself?
Or you have a dish
Without anything.
Yeah, without anything. And here's more of these, and here's more sauce. Oh, here's your chips if you want to go that route. And wait, I want to get everything we made out there. Okay, so quick review. We have our oats that are not cooked. They're just oats with oat milk on it, like Captain Crunch, just
And lots of berries and
lots
fruit.
of berries and fruit and chia and flax. Oatmeal with bananas and vanilla and cinnamon and some flax for banana butter oatmeal. And then we have our salad with our 3-2-1 vinegar, balsamic vinegar, fine balsamic vinegar, mustard, maple syrup, and some hummus with all kinds of greens. And our sandwich, which, oh my gosh, can we even review what's on there again?
It's just everything. you wanna
Strategy
put-
of everything
everything
you
you
put on it.
just chop it all up.
Yeah. Oh, this is so beautiful. It's her right there.
You know, the amazing thing to me is everything here is gonna be our dinner tonight. I bet you all are so jealous. I am so.
Okay, and our dinners, we had our sort of Asian profile bowl, which is the brown rice and teriyaki tofu with greens. And then we had the sweet potato, baked sweet potato with greens and scallions and red peppers and black beans and some mango and lime. And then we had our Mexican bowl we just did. Again, rice, beans, whatever vegetables you want. If you don't have heart disease, you can have a little avocado in there. And I might put way more things. I put some mango, it's corn, pico de gallo.
I don't know why you didn't put red cabbage in here. There's some there, you should.
There we go.
Mhm.
There we go. Okay, You guys,
Questions?
it's 6:01 and we'll let you go because I know it's afternoon for you guys.
There's a question.
But if you have one quick question, we're happy to answer.
We'll take questions.
I mean, I'm going to be aware of their time and letting them go, but
There's a 49ers game coming on soon, so
what?
49ers game, football game. It's on, someone said, oh. Any questions?
And our tofu.
Well, I just wanted to quickly say thank you so much, and everything looks delicious. I'm going to start my grocery list and go shopping. To say thank you, I just wanted to let everybody know at the Villages, I put in a link. I'll put it in again to say thank you and to keep the Esselstyn Foundation being able to keep doing these great works and helping to educate all of us. You can give a donation if you can. I'll put the link in. Again, just click on this link and it'll open up a new tab in your computer, and you can give a donation if you can. That would be great. Brian, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Mary, please be in touch. We're happy to do more. We've got lots of other things that we do. Nope, they can only see me. Jane wants to do a dessert one. She's got a great one that's all desserts. She's got.
Please, I love desserts. That's my favorite. I would love that.
Yeah, so be in touch. We're happy to do more. So excited that you're all excited about plant-based eating.
No, I thought we were, but.
That sounds good. Well, thank you very much. And you guys have a good evening out in Cleveland.
You too. Be in touch. Thanks.
Thank you.
That was great, Mary. Thank you very much. It looks so good. I'm going to go shopping.
I know, me too. Well, thank you, everyone. I love Jane and Ann, and I know they went back, but I did record it. Oh, I should probably stop recording it now.